Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Constructing the Clubhouse, the world's #1 comedy podcast about building a comedy club in Barcelona in the middle of a pandemic. I'm your host, Dr. Matthew John Murtha. Joining me, as always, is professional astronomer John Ellis.
Thank you for that kind introduction. It's the first kind introduction ever I think I've gotten.
What? I've always called you beautiful and talented, and I save all the insults for after we stop recording.
I'm actually an astrologer, though. I think it's important to make that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more scientific when it comes to my stars.
What is your star sign? I should know this. Libra?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Sagittarius. Ugh, obviously.
It's the most annoying star sign to have if you're skeptical about star signs, because it's the star sign of skeptical people. So you can't even point out that star signs are stupid because people are like, but you would say that.
Such a Sagittarius.
Such a Sagittarius.
Plus, you have to spell that word.
I never have to spell it.
Don't envy you.
I've never had to spell it once in my life.
Really? No one's ever
so.
texted you, hey, what's your star sign?
I don't think I've ever responded kindly to it as a question. I think bouncers have asked me sometimes when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah, if you had
Whoa, this party's for Libras only.
But at that time I was using my brother's ID, so I had to say Scorpio.
Oh, clever.
Yeah, that was one of the classic questions that New Zealand bouncers ask you.
Man, they are not letting anyone in. What's legal drinking age there? 21?
18.
18.
18. Used to be 21. They dropped it to 18 to stop 21-year-olds buying alcohol for younger people. They were like, if we just put it at 18, then only 18-year-olds will buy it.
Right.
Didn't actually work.
So, Johnny boy, what's good? What are we talking about today on Constructing the Clubhouse?
I think just a bit more of... I'm feeling more positive. I reflected this morning on 2022 and all the things that we've done. And yeah, feels like we've come a long way.
Yeah, I mean, you were in a bit of a crank the last time we recorded, I think, right?
Yeah, I was just feeling a bit overwhelmed by everything, and I still am. I mean, the whole financial thing fills my chest with the ball of anxiety that's...
Oh, don't worry about it. We'll be down for a month or two, and then we'll get the ship back right. And remember, every time we open the doors, we make a couple €100.
Usually.
If we just don't spend it, then we'll be okay.
That's the thing, that's the goal, and we're building a brand. That's what I keep telling myself. We're building a brand that is worth something, so even if you and me are losing money or not making any money, the thing that we have between us...
That makes you feel better, that we're building a brand?
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, at least we're doing this thing we love. Hey, this is fun. Hey, at least I'm not like...
Well, I still envision the day where it will be more like that. I was on the way over, I was thinking about having just like a really good community manager that gets along super well with the comedians. They all like that person, but that person can also kind of lay down the law in a very fair, reasonable way, and will have everyone respect them, and they'll be cheap.
What? I don't understand what job they're doing. They're just basically a bullet shield for you then, right?
Yeah.
This person's super well liked because they're gonna have to deliver all the bad news.
Yeah, they would deliver the bad news that I have to deliver, but they do it in a much more charismatic way. Like they would ask people not to smoke outside, and people would be like, "I like that person, so I'm not gonna do that."
Well, that's Kira, right?
Kira is great.
We missed her last night, by the way.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so we had 40 some odd pre-sales. We sold 11, 12 at the door. And for whatever reason, they were all go-getters. They showed up at like 9:55, 9:40. No, but then pissed that they couldn't get into the showroom.
Oh, really?
They're like, what do you mean? But it says 10 o'clock on the online thing. We're like, yeah, well, it's a Spanish 10. And they're like, no, but it says 10, da-da-da-da. And we're like, Javi was basically throwing his body across the door like a goalkeeper to keep people from going downstairs.
That's good, though. That feels good. Yeah, I mean, having Kara on the door for that sort of thing is great, because she would just set everyone's expectations when they arrive and people know what's going on. There's miscommunication
Yeah.
happens when she's not working.
Well, and that's the thing. And we had quite a few cheeky people being like, "Well, we need tickets. Well, we need tickets." And it's like, yeah, buddy.
Yeah, that used to be
Back to the
all the
line.
time here. That used to be just how we'd do
Yeah.
stuff, is would be like, you buy a ticket if you want, but otherwise you just go on downstairs.
100%. That's still pretty much how I run the shows whenever I'm at the helm.
But 55,
Mondays. But last night we sold a legit 55.
which feels sick, especially
Yeah.
coming from Bomb Shelter, because we make money from the show, and we haven't seen yet, but no doubt sold a lot of drinks yesterday, and
About 500, I think.
yeah, that's
rounding up.
that
So it
lifts
eases
my chest a little bit.
Good
So
old
yeah,
Bomb Shelter. I have to double check and see whether or not we're spending money on ads specifically for Bomb Shelter anymore.
well, I think because one thing is we just haven't really been doing any like Instagram ads and stuff like that. We've kind of put it all on hold because we've been getting our social media stuff together, and Belinda's coming in January. So we're going to have a sit down. We'll start doing a lot more paid ads for all of the shows.
Oh, but
Hopefully.
I'm gonna be doing a paid ad for Spotlight come tomorrow.
Oh, please.
Today, tomorrow, Monday, sometime.
Yes.
I'm gonna take the reins on that because
That's great. No, we need to get our act together for that. And while we're at it, anyone listening, Tamakatan is doing the first Spotlight show on the 7th of January, I believe, Saturday night.
Yep.
Who else is on that show?
I believe I'm hosting.
Yeah.
And our openers are to be announced.
Okay, that's exciting. Exciting stuff. No doubt very good openers.
I mean, my preference would be to have you and Hannah for the first one.
Yeah, could do.
I might see about getting Kyla Cobbler to host some of the spotlights.
Yeah.
I want her to headline one for sure.
Well, I was thinking the shows that, like when John Spillane comes, I know Hannah's on to host that time, but
yeah.
getting like a coalition of Irish when we have an Irish person over, I think could be really strong because, I mean, the Mike Rice shows he's done, even the midday Irish show we did with, I can't remember his name now, but was like packed with people that were drinking.
Oh, yeah.
So-
I wasn't here for that, but I do remember that too.
Yeah. Stephen Garland put together a Vermouth Hour show or something like that. So yeah, I thought we could talk about the highlights of 2020 and the lowlights of 2022. Let's not go back to 2020, and then talk about kind of what we're excited for in the future.
Okay.
Do you have a highlight that sticks out in your mind of
Let's see here.
2022?
I mean, the big event was moving to this new venue.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's really kind of crazy because every month had a highlight from there on. Like, that first month was building the initial piss pond.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody last night. It's a stupid project for sure, but like it really got my ball rolling.
That was fun. That was a fun phase, right? Where we just we had this empty space and you were like, I'm going to do a piss pond. And I was like, I'm going to make coins. And it was just like...
there was a really strong feeling of like there was nothing else that we could do for the time.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly why. I think part of it was that like nobody really returns to Barcelona until after King's Day anyway.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I think reflecting back, there's so many things that we could have done. We could have gotten a head start on, but we didn't know what the things were. Now I feel like I've got a much clearer idea of all the things that need to be done, which is nice.
Yeah. Yep. And then after that, I don't know what it is. Then it's buying furniture. A couple times we built a bar.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, crazy steps. It is going to be absolute batshit crazy one day to look back and say, yeah, we were selling beer out of a cooler.
Yeah.
We just filled that thing up. We had like one kitchen island table
Mm-hmm.
to serve as a bar. We had one big bucket that was our beer supplies, and then we fucking had shows.
Yeah, we're goddamn cowboys.
What did we? Oh, we had one. We started out with just one spotlight, right? I think it was James's spotlight.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I think so. I think we started with one, and then we brought the improv team in, and they were like, "We need to have theater lighting in such and such arrangement." And I said, "All right."
Mm-hmm.
Went out and spent, I think it was about €600 to get the sound desk, lights, and I forget what else we bought then.
Do you think it was still a good call to do the soft opening? We did the softest of openings. We did the slowest
Yes.
soft opening in the world. Do you think that was still smart, or do you think we should have been closed for an extra month, built the bar? I know we didn't have money, so that was like a big thing.
That's the whole.
Yeah.
No, if I could do it again, I wouldn't do it like that. But it is impossible to have done it any other way.
Yeah.
Unless we really were able to get somebody to chip in, I don't know, 20 grand for renovations and stuff.
Yeah, it was extra. Well, now looking back, I'm like, man, I really should have taken out more Bitcoin.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Could have done with an extra 20 grand in Bitcoin at the time, probably. But
And then did it lose its value, right?
yeah, it's been not going great recently. Well, everything's just been going badly recently in terms of the economy and stuff like that. So
That's what they tell me.
hopefully it'll all turn around. Yeah. Anyway, huge that we're at the new venue.
Definitely.
Nicer than Limerick, better than Limerick.
What's your favorite moment? No, dude, Limerick is always gonna have just an extremely special place in my heart.
Yeah.
I was talking to Stuart about it last night, and because last night was Comedy Bomb Shelter was popping. We had 50 people in the audience. Audience was great and like pretty like well oiled up before we even started. And so Stuart's like, "Oh man, this is the greatest room ever, man." Da, da, da. I'm like, "No, dude, back at Limmy's, that was."
I remember Limerick.
I got so physically hot in that room. Everything would work. It was a zany, great time.
Yeah, super fond memories. It's too bad. It's too bad it made no sense. It's too bad. It's too bad we had to leave.
That's all right. We'll go back to it once we're like filthy rich.
Yeah, I really, it just felt like such bad timing to have to leave as well. It was like, just give us another 6 months, another 6 months in that place. Then we were making money. The two of us working the bar. It felt so easy to run the bar and all of that kind of thing.
If we could have had 6 months to a year, we would have had the nut, to buy the license outright.
Totally. Totally. We could have slowly transitioned into a place like this and done everything right. Right from the get-go.
It's not our fault.
Yeah.
Wholly defensive.
But it's amazing. Well, I hate to say it, but I think it's amazing that we were able to transition so quickly into another place that has been so good for us.
Absolutely.
There were so many unknowns when we were doing it. I was wildly unsure of how it was all going to be with the license and all of this. So we took a huge risk, and while there is still some risks, it's worked. So far, it's worked.
We passed our sanitation exam. I don't know how the hell that happened, but no, 100%.
I mean, Guy was cool, right? Guy was really cool. So he came by one night when we had like bomb shelter going on, and he was like, "Are you the owner?" And I was like smoking a joint at the time. I was like, "Yeah, like what's up?" And he's like, "Oh, you're busy now? Don't worry, I'll come back another time." So like we arranged a specific time for him to come back.
Oh my God, send that man flowers.
Yeah. So the government workers that we've interacted with here, including the police, have actually been very,
very chill,
nice, very reasonable. And it's mostly, if we've gotten in trouble, it's mostly just been us being shitheads.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody remembers, but when we first started out over at Limerick's, all of my friends who were bar owners and stuff were like, "Oh, dude, watch out. If you don't have a trash can labeled organic, they are going to fuck you right up the ass with a knife." Like the most grotesque. They were like they instilled the fear of God in me.
Totally.
We went out and we bought like a tiny dorky little, do you remember that? We had a dorky little organics bin that we ended up recycling, I think, into, that became our idea or our suggestion box.
The suggestion box that drained into the no good, useless trash bin.
Yeah.
That was fun. Yeah, there were just moments like that in Limerick. The big box, that was a lot to do with boxes, to be honest. But the giant box we had in Limerick.
The boo-boo box.
The boo-boo box. It was a lot more carefree in a lot of ways. Or there was just this feeling that it was probably only going to last 6 months. So we should make the most of it.
Oh, it's just so easy. It was just so you open the door and like people will wander in and buy alcohol. Like, that's the thing. I was thinking about it the other day too, and like we properly stayed open till 2:30. Late nights there.
Yeah.
And selling tons and tons of drinks. Tons of drinks. Boy, I miss it. Boy, howdy. The layout, everything. I mean, it's because we walked into a fully functional, fully operational bar.
Yeah, and the
that
bar
was
was
working
long
perfect
and spacious.
before the pandemic.
Since we've gotten into this place, we've had to learn all of the little things that Limerick had that are necessary for a bar to have in order to function properly. Because we had to build them all, so we had to go like, oh, there's not enough space, so let's make this bigger, or let's move this, or let's get extra fridges or more and now we have a good idea of what we actually need to change this place into. But yeah, Limerick was the perfect training wheels for us doing what we were doing. Like, imagine if we'd never run any bar at all, and we moved into this place and tried to do it immediately.
Oh, no. Yeah.
So, a little homage to Limerick.
Yeah. I'll pour one out.
What was your low light of this place, would you say? What was the most miserable moment this year where you were like, fuck it.
Fuck this.
I quit. I'm going back to science.
I don't know. Maybe one of the acting showcases. Those were kind of rough. But I mean, there's times where I was working a bunch and feeling unappreciated, but even then I wasn't like I quit.
Mm-hmm.
It was more like, I don't know, I'm gonna fire everybody.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Like that no good Carlos Toca, the old Chucky Touch,
who left because he found greener pastures.
Yeah.
That happens.
No, that's 100% super cool. I mean, like the idea behind this place is that it becomes like a talent breeding ground, and you want to see people go on and be successful.
Totally.
So that kid better get cast in a big movie soon.
Hopefully. I think for me it was the police coming and then just having this like immense sense that everything that would built could collapse at any moment. And then I went on a neurotic rampage for the next 2 or 3 months, trying to get people not to drink outside, which is like still a battle, you know. Some people that are here every day of the week, I still have to tell 3 times in the same night not to do it. So I just like it puzzles me as to how that's the case.
Yeah.
But I've chilled out a bit more, and I think we have a much better relationship with the neighbors now. I gave them Christmas presents.
One of my lower points was going into the new big house. Just because I felt like everything we tried to do, they did and better.
Oh, it's so nice there.
Their sign is made, unfinished cut wood with backlit with LEDs, just like ours is, but bigger and better. Like 3 times the size of our sign. All of their lights work and are very bright.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a hit on the old masculinity, right? Because
I didn't think about it like that, but yeah, 100%.
I've been trying to DIY here. We tried to DIY the walls the other day and just made them all look way worse.
Yeah.
Every single thing I've tried to do like artistically, some of it's great in fairness, but it's been a struggle and it hasn't been like up to perfect professional standards. And everything's crisp and clean and beautiful.
So clean, so pretty.
Congratulations.
And it was just that like everything that we had thought of and talked about doing, they just went out and did like, oh, we should have photos of everybody and put them on. They have photos,
Yeah.
Oh, we should have like drinks and snacks. They do it.
I feel like they might be listening to our podcast and then doing all the things way before we get a chance to do it, because we have a lot of sort of planning sessions on this podcast.
Yeah, we're the idea generators here. But it's kind of nice though, is they've told us that we are directly the inspiration for them. They saw us open up and they're like, oh, you can just go and do it. You don't have to ask permit. You just do it.
Yeah. There's a quote from Steve Jobs that I like, which is like, every cool thing that you see in the entire world exists because like one person was stupid enough to think that it was a good idea. So here we are being stupid, and maybe it'll pay off.
One day.
Fingers crossed. Other highlights? Harvey?
Javi's a highlight. Louis is a highlight.
Louis. Yeah, Harvey, Louis C.K. coming. That was obviously a big thing. This podcast studio is massive. I didn't appreciate how big it was going to be when we were building it. But
yeah, it's pretty exciting. We got some new podcasts starting up this week. Andy Casper's starting one with Kyla, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Connor's continuing to do his. Tamara's doing his one. Who else was in the chat this morning? It was funny to see like the scramble for podcast space. So someone booked like they were like, "Oh, can I have this morning or whatever?" Then everyone else was like, "Oh fuck, like let's get this or whatever."
100%.
So there's completely a limit to how many members of the Creators Club we can realistically have. I think
24 per day.
Yeah, sure. You have to work your way up, right? So if you first join the Creators Club, you'll be on like 10 o'clock on a Friday night trying to like do a podcast through all the music and all of that kind of thing. And then you wait your time out and eventually get a nice 6 a.m. spot.
That'd be. I wonder how that would sound. I wonder if we could do radio from in here during the night. I'm excited for this 5 to 7 spot.
Yeah, it's cool that that's opening up. What did you want to do for it? What was your thinking?
I'll do anything. Science podcast.
Yeah.
Radio drive hour.
It'd be nice to do something live. We need more people to listen, and then we can do that kind of thing. But I'm pretty excited about that. The coin issuing ceremony was a big highlight for me. The
first one was a huge success.
Huge success. And then the second one was a bit meh. And now, to be honest, I'm excited about stuff.
Lost the love
for about 2 seconds. Well, yeah. I mean, my passion for coins has diminished considerably this year. Partly because we had one of the lowlights was the Great Flood downstairs.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I don't even think we talked about it on the podcast, but a brand new water heater that we bought and paid lots of money to have put up on the wall, and we never even turned it on. We didn't need hot water, but we were just feeling flush at the time, right? So we were like,
maybe one day we should wash our dishes with hot water. I think
maybe it'll just be easier to hot mop the floor if we have hot water instead of a kettle. So yeah, we got this water heater, and then before we'd even got a chance to use it, it fell off the wall and flooded the whole basement. We had to close for a week, and the water fell all over my treasure chest, and the whole thing's rusted and gross.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I never noticed. It's in the green room now. It's holding a lot of
the chest itself is okay, but it's gotten into the coins.
Oh, no.
It's actually... The idea of buried treasure is a lot more glamorous in like the cartoons than it is in real life. Because all these buried treasure at the bottom of the ocean or whatever, if you dig them up, you can't even recognize them as coins. They're all like rusted blue things. There's no
John's
time.
Great disappointments in life.
You'd never open up like a lost treasure chest and find like glistening, gleaming gold. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So that was a low light for me. All the pests, bugs, things like that. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
And that's the whole year of Comedy Clubhouse.
And we're poor. We're now poor.
Yeah, now we're poor again.
Highlights. That's pretty much most of them. Oh, Edinburgh I put as both a low light and a highlight because it was like a dream of mine since I started doing comedy to do a 1-hour show at Edinburgh. So like I took that off. But it was miserable in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Basically.
I think when we had the cops stop by, I wasn't all that bothered that time.
It's because you were very drunk.
That is entirely possible. But I was like, yeah, this is not going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I think I was just maybe overly confident in our license status.
I do take solace in the fact that no one seems to know what we're actually allowed to be doing. Like the cops,
police included.
Right, so they're like, hey, you can't be doing this. I'm like, fair enough. What can we be doing? They're like, I don't know, talk to your hair store.
Yeah. Well, not this, I think.
Yeah. So the hair store's like, yeah, you have to be careful, but like it's fine. So yeah, we're trying to be careful. Basically.
we're doing a pretty good job. And we're still ending each night pretty much right at 12 o'clock. I mean, neighbors can't be too upset with us.
Totally. Except for tonight. Tonight, New Year's Eve, baby.
Man. Yeah, I don't want to stay that late.
Till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Fuck no.
I'm hoping we don't need to.
Who's coming tonight? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, we have a list of about 45 people.
Wow.
And then I imagine when I do show up, go up in a couple of hours, there's going to be a bunch more people that come for that. And I'm probably going to say, like, look, if you want to come, that's fine. But you just have to put your name on the list.
By the way, add Elena East, you know?
Yeah.
East? Yeah. Her plus her sister coming out tonight.
Great. Excellent. She's one of our favorite members. She is the owner of Coin 007.
Oh, shit.
Which is
Big
awesome.
shout out East.
Awesome. Yeah. The wall art as well was another highlight because I think it's very cool. The Sagrada Familia and stuff. And then I put Madagascar for myself personally because I did do the first English comedy show that's ever happened in Madagascar this year.
The Christopher Columbus of comedy.
Conquering the... No, okay. Never mind. Yeah. Goals, New Year's resolutions. New Year's resolutions for the Clubhouse. New Year's resolutions for Dr. Matthew Murtha.
Oh, I don't want to resolve to do anything. I don't want to hold myself accountable. I mean, the usual. And actually, Je suis le tête. My goals for myself are the same for the Clubhouse, more or less.
Nice. We are one.
Yeah. You know, just... I'm on the personal side, just stepping up the content creation, kind of trying to build a better practice for editing my material and performing a little bit more stand-up than I've been doing. Clubhouse side, very excited to get to filming things.
Yeah.
You know, keep working towards that sitcom, which means I have to write a bunch of scripts and then review this, you know, rewrite them 10 times and then film.
Yeah, I think we're both
times.
Pretty resolved in our determination to be more online and be more successful online.
Which is only supposed to enable us to be able to perform more offline, you know.
Yeah, it's the way that whatever we're doing becomes sustainable and relaxing. So yeah, it's kind of everything needs to happen at the same time. But I would love to get to 1,000 YouTube subscribers by the end of March, and then yeah. But I'm really studying it and the thumbnails and all of this kind of thing. And I think some of the stuff we're doing is cool.
I think okay. I mean, sure. Honestly, I think we can get there. I just was expecting you to say 1,000 for the first year, 10,000 at the second year. You know.
No, 10,000 is for the end of June.
Let's see.
If we figure it, because to get to 1,000, you have to figure out how to get followers, right? So if you figure that out, then getting to 10,000 is you just do more of the stuff that gets followers.
I'm trying to remember. We have
subscribers. Sorry.
Yeah, did you know that? I got a combo for you offline. We have a friend that's a big YouTube sensation, and he was saying that like. It was like a year for the first, or like 3 years for the first 1,000. Second year, he's up to 10,000, and then the third year, he's up to 200,000, something like that. It's very exponential the way this works. Anyway, but yeah, good goals. Let's fuck it. Let's go for it. Let's get 1,000.
Let's do it.
Let's write the goal down somewhere so that we can...
Yeah, we'll have a meeting with the team and sort of lay all this stuff out, I think. It's really hard to get people that come in here to do anything. Is something that I noticed. If 1% of the people that come through here followed us on YouTube, then we would get to 1,000 within a few months.
Dude, I think. Let's brainstorm ways to do that. But like, if we fire up that iPad, and put it out there, set to our channel. Wait, what do they have to? All right. Let's think about how to make it super easy and that we can hold them to it and be like, no, do it right now in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we'll get them. Yeah, 1,000 followers. If we have 1,000 people walk through the club every week.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. So that's a big goal. Getting Cash for Laughs off the ground is important. That's going to be the way we get to that goal, and we just need to fix it. We need to fix it somehow. We need to make it good. So that should be both of our short-term goal, I think. All right. Forget it. And I think we could do 1,000 shows this year.
Of course. Sure.
Seems very reasonable, right?
You need to average 3 a day?
Well, on the average week towards the end of this year, we've gotten to 20 shows a week, 22 shows a week, something like that. So between everything, it's kind of 2 or 3 every day, and then like 4 or 5 on Saturdays.
Yeah, honestly, I'd be surprised if we weren't there already. But yeah, now that I think about it, 3 a day is a pretty high average. Definitely doable. Sure.
Cool. I got some personal goals as well.
We should. We need to have one big full show a night. That's a real goal.
Yeah, I guess like number of shows is, to be honest, not necessarily a good focus for us to have. It's nice to have, and it's a good like claim.
What do you think is better, 1 show of 60 or 3 shows of 20?
2 shows of 30. Basically.
4 shows of 15.
2 shows of 30 with a big break between them is probably the best for us.
Yeah, probably. That's probably true. What are your personal goals?
Drink less. Keep not smoking. Buy a house.
What?
Yeah.
Damn, you're ambitious, son.
I know. We'll see if that one comes about or not, but it's possibly possible, and that's the direction I'd like to go in general.
Good luck. That'd be great.
Develop personal confidence in myself.
You don't need that.
That isn't affected. I'm good at like acting confident, but
Yeah.
I'd like to just be confident, you know. I realized this year that I'm a little more malleable than I thought that I was, that I'd sort of adapt my personality if I thought that that's what other people wanted, and that's not what I want. So I'm going to be different. I'm going to completely and utterly and totally change my personality, and that's my big New Year's resolution.
Good luck with that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's the same one as last year.
That's what you did last year too?
Sorta. No, not really. Not really. Do you do New Year's resolutions, or it doesn't work for you?
No, I generally don't. Because it's always the same. Oh, try to be healthier, try to do better. And then I don't, so.
I do love the sweet spot between Christmas and New Year's now. Tonight, that's why New Year's is so great, right? Because it's completely guilt-free. It's, everything starts tomorrow for everyone.
Right. That was one thing I was going to ask. If you do dry January, do you have to start at midnight? Nah? Because in my head, I'm like, well, then it's not, it doesn't count. You already fucked up for the month.
Well, I guess if in your head it changes, because then that's really where it all goes wrong, is when there's like an exception that you've made, and then you're like, well, I already made an exception. Might as well
tear the whole thing down. Forget it.
Yeah. 33 minutes.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Anything else?
Hey, let's shout out all the people that listen. Thanks so much for joining us on this adventure.
Yeah, we love you. And all we ask is that you love us back.
Yeah. Reach out. Let us know. Maybe we'll break the Constructing up into an interview episode and a update episode every week.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get to 100 episodes of this podcast this year as well. So we're hoping to do 2 a week. We've done 2 this week.
So let's have you on, Marnie Manning.
We already had her.
I know, but again. I'm going to try to who else listens to the podcast? Richard, I think, does.
Yeah, if you
Andy
listen
Ritchie.
And you like us and you're fun
Jacob.
and you want to be a guest, feel free to reach out and we'll
Who am I forgetting?
Yeah, we'd like to get to know people.
Well, they're going to let me know on Monday. All right. Yeah, thank you very much. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for listening. Thanks for a fantastic year. This has been Constructing the Clubhouse. I've been Dr. Matt.
I've been John Ellis.
Thank you and good night.